want?
I want to buy you lunch.
Has Amina eaten yet?
Well done. 1-0. See, there is nothing between us.
Oh, she doesn't think so.
Teacher Dorcas is the movie I'm reviewing today, guys. Welcome to my channel and thank you guys so much for supporting my channel and supporting my reviews that I've been making regarding Nollywood movies, guys. Thank you so much. Let's get into it. This movie is produced, executive produced, director of the movie, and the story of this movie, everything regarding production is done by Oduwak Isong, and the movie can be found on Oduwak Isong TV. A quick recap of this movie is teacher Dorcas was sent to a school to teach and install discipline into SS3 students. So she got into the school. Installing the discipline into the student was a hell of a tough match between her and this student. I don't want to give you a spoiler at all, so if you are interested, please go and watch Teacher Dorcas on Oduwak Isong TV. Now, what I like about this movie, the storyline and the lesson in this movie is so much. Again, like I said, if you have been to secondary school, if you have secondary school education, especially if you have been to boarding house, you should know some of the things that happen in secondary school. Love from teacher to teacher, love from student to student, love from teacher and student, and also coming to school late. Everything about secondary school is in this movie. This story was written beautifully. Lesson in this story is so much. I'm trying as much as possible not to give you guys spoilers at all. The messages actually in this movie is a lot, and you guys again go and watch this movie. Another thing I love about this movie is the length of this movie. This movie was not up to 2 hours at all, and everything you need about a secondary school movie that has African vibe or Nigerian originality is in this movie. The length is the perfect length. You don't need 2 hours to have a perfect movie. This is what you need to watch. Another thing I love is the cinematography. They did not add unnecessary color grading or whatever. Perfect lighting when necessary was good. Daylight lighting was good. Everything about cinematography about this movie is good that I love. The location of this movie is perfect. 2 different schools that they showed us in this movie. The location was an actual school, guys. The authorities in the school, perfect. We saw location of some of the students' parents' houses. We also saw teacher Dorcas' house, which was also perfect. We also saw one of the teachers' house that was also perfect. Lighting in these various locations was so good. I personally, I love it. Education wise, we saw school, we saw buka joint, we saw restaurant, car, keke, houses. Each and every location of this movie, guys, was perfect. Let's talk about the cast and directing. Let's talk about teacher Dorcas being played by Bimbo, guys. Her own channel, she brings the best, and when you have her on your own production, you are sure going to have a banker as well, and she did not disappoint at all. It's giving us that vibe of the disciplined teacher who doesn't take nonsense from notorious or stubborn kids. Trust me, Bimbo was that girl that made this movie a very interesting one. Then we talk about Abdul Lateef. He was the teacher that was wooing teacher Dorcas. He was funny. He had lines. Like when he's giving one of those lines, I'm just smiling. I'm like, guy, this guy is good with the lines. He was entertaining. He was comical. He was a vibe. I love his acting. You can't go wrong with Bimbo Ademoye. Abdul Lateef was really good. I enjoyed his antics with teacher Dorcas in this movie. Trust me, you enjoy him if you watch this movie. Amina, she was the delusional teacher in this movie. She was like, guy, all the thing where you chop, the relationship with I enjoyed her also. Her anger, her emotions towards relationship wise was perfect for what she was asked to do. I love that as well. The students, guys, the leader of the gang, that boy was really good as well. Then another leader, the lady who is always sitting at the back of the class, I think second in command, the way I'm just seeing it, she and the leader of the gang, they were the powerhouse of the class and they did super well. The guy who was finding it difficult in reading, I don't know if he was a stammerer or he just couldn't read. That guy was also very good. Practically all the students were acting. Nobody was playing dumb. Nobody was playing mumu. When I say mumu, in terms of like don't know what they are on set to do, and nobody was consciously looking at the cameras or whatnot. Everybody was just in character and they were acting perfectly, guys. The director, that's Dorcas, of course, she did very well, making sure that it was as if she made a promise to the student that, guys, bring in your best, because maybe I'll put you my next movie. I don't know what she promised the students or the cast as the students. Everybody was acting perfectly. The debate scene, the students were so good. Again, no student was unconsciously or consciously watching the cameras. Sometimes when you watch movies that has students like this, you definitely see mistakes of students watching the camera and you're like, okay, these are not it. But here I was paying attention and I did not find any student like watching the camera. No. Everybody was in character. They were doing it as if cameras were not on them. So the students were on board with everything. I love all the students. The thing I love about this movie was the relationship between Dorcas and her father, father-daughter relationship. We all know that fathers always love their daughters. We saw that relationship displayed in this movie. Some of the scenes that I love so much are the scenes that involve the debate. They made sure they showed us debate. They didn't tell us to imagine the debate and we just automatically seeing that, okay, the debate has ended. They showed us scenes of how the debate was taking place. And another thing I love about this movie is that they did not mute when they were making the debate. Then maybe music will play in the background and we are not having the interaction of how the debate questions were going. None of that happened. When the students were even preparing before the debate day, we saw them practice answering questions here and there in the class. Whilst the teacher was there, we heard everything, how they were preparing towards the competition. They did not use YouTube sound to cover everything. They put us through everything, guys. What I love about the movie is that when the debate ended, I was speculating that, the students are going to take first or the students are going to win. Well, the students did not win, but they were second, and which is really good because these students, if you watch a movie, like, they don't know book. So they practically did their best to practically come second, which is really, really relatable and it makes more sense. You know what I mean? So this was really a good movie all round. Another thing that I love about the movie was it talked about teenage pregnancy and how to, embrace and accept situations like that when they happen. And the family of the girl that got pregnant, the woman was really good. That woman, I love her accent. She has a very good tonation of English, which was really nice as well. Including the boy who impregnated, everything surrounding that teenage pregnancy was one of the best things to come out of this movie. And last but not the least thing that I really love about this movie has to do with the assembly, the meeting they had at assembly and the grand performances. Everything was good. And lest I forget, I also love the aura shot, the up shot of the school and the assembly. Everything about this movie was perfectly thought through. Like, they did not just put story together. No. This was perfectly done and amazingly. It was done within 2 hours. It was not even 2 hours, guys. This movie is so perfect. I entreat you guys to go and watch Teacher Dorcas on Uduak Isong TV. Now, what I don't like about this movie, the only thing I really did not like was the performances that was done during the assembly hall and the responses the students were giving the performance during that assembly. That's the only thing that I do not like about this movie. The responses from the students towards the performance were not given as if they were interacting with or they were enjoying what was happening. The dancers were not communicating well with the audience. That particular scene was not really my favorite. I did not know what was happening there. The assembly ground where those performances was happening, the students were not happy, were not really communicating with the dancers or having fun with what they were seeing, and that was something I really just didn't find interesting. In all, guys, this movie is a 9/10 movie. That is what I'm rating it, 9/10. It deserves all the praise because this movie is doing good numbers. That to tell you how good this movie is. If you go to Drugs channel, most of the movies are really not doing numbers like this movie. Again, I keep saying that you can have a good movie under 12 hours. You don't need 3 hours to tell us a good movie, and this is an evidence of that. Again, this movie have everything you can think of when it comes to story relating to secondary school life. Can I even forget the scene where Teacher Dorcas jumped the wall to chase the stubborn student? That is another beautiful scene as well. If I cannot find something not to like about this movie, that should tell you how good this movie is. So again, if you haven't watched it, please go and watch it on Uduak Isong TV. I really hope I'm pronouncing the name correctly. So guys, thank you so much for watching this review. I'll see you guys all in the next movie review.